gamers, gamerettes, all my peoples, my family, my folks, and my friends. Welcome to yet another edition of, you guessed it, Gaming News with your boy True, where we talk about all things in and around the gaming genre. I happen to search the interwebs, find a few stories that I find intriguing and or interesting, and then report them directly to you so you can decide whether or not you would like to look up the story yourself and therefore look deeper and delve into the guts of the story. That was pretty serious, huh? Pardon me. Anyway, if you're looking to support the channel directly, you can check out my Twitch page, TrueMasterson. It's True MasterSon, True without the E, MasterSon. That's my Twitch page, and at the bottom of the page I do have a donate button if you're looking to support me directly, which I highly doubt. Although I would appreciate just a subscription on the YouTube channel, which is True MasterSon, with the E, TrueMasterson, True Space Masterson. And if you would watch me on my Twitch page currently, I am so close to making an affiliate, it breaks my heart. But I just don't have enough viewership yet to reach it. So if you see me streaming or post that I'm going to stream and watch me on Twitch, it would help me out tremendously. So with that being said, let's dive into the first story. Okay, cool cats. First story we're going to get into today is, as I promised, every week I will report the free PlayStation bonus downloads. So the title of the story is, as is every week, PS4 Surprise Update Download this free PlayStation game bonus today. PS4 owners can download a new free game bonus right now, having just arrived on the PlayStation Store. PlayStation fans looking to test out an upcoming PS4 release have the perfect opportunity to do so this weekend. There are plenty of free games that can be found on the PlayStation Store, but when it comes to RPGs, there are only a few to choose from. And the good news is fans can add a special trial to their digital library at no extra charge, which will help scratch that role-playing game itch. Sony added the Disgaea 4 Complete Plus demo to their PSN lineup just a few days ago. And even though the new demo has only been available for a short amount of time, it has already secured a solid rating on the PlayStation Store. When the ruling powers of Hades are revealed to be corrupt, Valvatores must spark a rebellion to bring them down. The full game description reads, armed to the teeth with dynamic, over-the-top gameplay and a horde of special features, this is the ultimate Disgaea. Disgaea 4 Complete Plus revisits the strategy RPG classic with all the additional scenario characters and DLC ever released for the title, and adds brand new tweaks and functionality to make it the ultimate, in caps, Disgaea experience. Launching this fall for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, the Disgaea demo can be downloaded for no extra charge and weighs just under 3 gigabytes. So it shouldn't be too lengthy to download and too hard on a regular or PS4 Pro. This should make it an easy download. As I just said, even the original range with only 500 gigabytes is available. And the good news is that this doesn't look to be a timed exclusive that has to be downloaded before the full game launches. Developers NIS America have confirmed that gamers will be able to smash through the fistful chapter of Lord Valtorez's fiery campaign. It has also been confirmed that all progress made during the demo will carry over to just Disgaea 4 Complete Plus, which is pretty awesome. If you download it and start it, it's going to carry over if you choose to buy the game. This should get everyone a good idea of what the full game will be like when it arrives on the PlayStation Network on October 29th, which is fast approaching. More demos are expected to be released on the PlayStation 4 over the coming weeks, and already boasts a wide range of free titles to play and enjoy which is going to be pretty awesome. Another good option available this weekend is The Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom demo. It features early gameplay from the popular 2018 game, which scored top reviews on PlayStation 4 platform. Enjoy a colorful action-adventure game made alongside Ryunichi Nishizawa, and I know I butchered that, creator of the original Wonder Boy in Monster World series. Monster Boy in the Cursed Kingdom borrows the best from the classic series to deliver a fresh, modern adventure with fun gameplay, memorable music, and gorgeous hand-drawn animations, which I myself happen to be into. For those wanting a free, full game, Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 was recently released on PlayStation 4. As many fans will already know, Battle Operation 2 has been available to play in Japan for some time and allows you to fight alongside your friends in giant robots. Haven't checked that one out yet, but it sounds pretty flippin' awesome. However, while the suits are powerful mechs that can be used for many battles and exploration, some tasks are best handled on foot. Fans can also try hopping out and exploring the landscape as an infantry unit, including being able to request supporting fire to assist you in your escape. One of the most eye-catching modes available to gamers this week is the 6 vs 6 multiplayer battle that can be found online. Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 is a free download and doesn't require a PlayStation Plus subscription to access the online multiplayer gameplay. And that being said, as I said previously, that being said part, that is, that's what has been released on PlayStation Network, PlayStation Store, whatever you want to call it, this weekend. So for those of you looking to try out something different, well, there you go. I hope I helped you out, and let's get into the next story. Maybe. And the next story that I just happened across that I found interesting, because I am currently exclusively gaming on just the PlayStation 4, a little bit on my mobile. Not so much on the PC yet, but I am pretty much exclusively a PlayStation 4 gamer, and I have played Watchdogs 1 and 2, which I seen some shitty reviews on it, to be honest, both games, but I enjoyed them both myself, and I am a big fan of Ubisoft and their games, so I found a story on Watchdog Legion, which is soon to be coming out, and the headline is Watchdog Legion, Ubisoft almost forgot about left-hand drive and why it probably isn't 100 hours. So what that means is, as I will read here momentarily, that the game is set in London and they almost forgot that everybody drives on the opposite side in London, as well as the driver's seat is on the opposite side. Fun fact, those of you who don't know, I recently learned that that is because when still in horse and carriage or riding horses, they wanted the sword hand to be on the correct side for sticking mofos, so that's why it's still that way. Anyway, in a panel at EGLX in Toronto this Saturday, Watchdogs Legion live producer, I'm going to butcher this as well, Lathinishi Philionathan, and lead narrative producer Kate Tremblay took the stage to answer some questions about their upcoming title. And excuse me while it loads. And what stuck out most for us related to the size of the world and overall game. So it's looking to be quite big. While it has been reported previously that Watch Dogs Legion will have a game size roughly similar to what Watch Dogs 2 was, Thiliniathan confirmed that the world is much more dense. I'm sorry for butchering your name if you come across this video. On the length of the game, Tremblay wouldn't give specifics about how many hours the game would take to complete, just that the story has 5 main quest lines with a ton of side quests alongside an entire recruitment system, the latter of which presumably lengthens or shortens a gameplay depending on how in-depth a player wants to get with it. Thililiathan joked that just playing around with the different characters and building teams could take over 100 hours. Though with a game of over a million, if not millions, of procedurally generated playable characters, that isn't a stretch. So what they're saying there, that there are a million, if not millions, of playable actual characters that you could use as a protagonist, which is pretty awesome. The panel discussion also got into why London itself was chosen as a setting for the game. Following Watchdogs 1 and 2, Chicago and San Francisco respectively, the producers said that while looking through cities across the world, they wanted to go somewhere global where they could effectively tell their story about building a resistance. Having the ability to play as anyone would be boring if everyone was the same, so they needed diversity in the city's population, but also in its architecture. London is ripe with everything from old Victorian styles to modern structures like the Shard. Thililiathan says, an issue they didn't consider when initially planning out their game, however, was that everything in London is naturally left-hand drive. Thililiathan recalled, lightly poking fun at themselves. Roads are often truncated by roundabouts. Pedestrians may need to look either way when crossing the street, and the autonomous cars of this near-future speculative fiction need to be programmed with all of this in consideration. The game is under development at Ubisoft Toronto with support from teams at the company's Montreal, Kiev, and Bucharest and Newcastle studios. Our bet is that someone in Newcastle had a look at the game and asked why everyone was driving on the wrong side of the road. This is not confirmed naturally. Of course, the game is shaping up to be quite a massive endeavor that will see players in the hands of any number of protagonists over the course of the story and side quests. The game runs well, plays beautifully, and offers a ton of different ways to traverse London. The team built a technology from the ground up to make possible the ability to be anyone in their game, and it is not a gimmick. You can quite literally be anyone in the game, and what you do in the game generally has actions throughout the rest of the experience, which that had to be super complicated to try to do, not try to do, because they're doing it. But it sounds like something that I am going to be ecstatic to do a Let's Play walkthrough on Walkthrough Let's Play. But anyway, throughout the rest of the experience, and it says, and this goes deep. If a police officer kills you, for example, that character is permanently gone from the game. However, with other members on your team, you can go hunt down that exact police officer and exact your revenge. Doing so, however, might have their family members react, or worse, the entire police force. Perhaps the officer's friend or family. Your characters also continue living their lives in the background while you play as another member of the team. In another scenario Tremblay and Thililiathan shared, if a character has a friend that they hang out with often and you decide to kill them, when you're playing as another character again, they will go visit the grave during their grieving process. How does one find out if this is actually happening? You can switch between characters at will, but you will take over that character where they happen to be, which apparently can be a gravesite sometimes. In-depth in Legion seems to be unparalleled to anything that we've seen before, which I'm super excited about, because the whole premise of Watchdogs 1 and 2 with being a hacker, using your phone to hack into things to help you through your way, it was just a real cool experience for me. I enjoyed both games. And it puts shame to other games that claim previous actions have consequences throughout the experience. With only a few more months until release, we're expecting to have a lot of unique adventures in London. It says here that Watchdogs Legion is set to release on March 6, 2020, which is a day before your boy's birthday. Super excited about it, and that'll be on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Google Stadia. Super excited about this game. I hope you guys are too. If you haven't played Watch Dogs 1 and or 2, I recommend you dig back in and grab them for yourself and play the beginning of the series and the second one, because they are some pretty cool games. Sort of GTA-esque with a little bit of role play and a decent storyline. And they aren't quite as polished as other games in my opinion, but definitely awesome games to play. I really enjoyed them, and you should check them out. And with that being said, you know what time it is, yo. Time for the next story. Alright folks, the next story that I chose to include in this week's episode of Gaming News with your main man, True MasterSon, is involving a game that I truly enjoyed. I've only played 2 out of the full series, which is Fallout. I've played Fallout New Vegas, and I've played Fallout 4, the most current media disc game, not online, the regular game, okay? I haven't had a chance to play Fallout 76 yet, because there's too much other stuff out that I want to get into, and I'm not too big yet on online multiplayer stuff, but I'm getting there. But this is concerning Fallout 76, and the story headline is Fallout 76's Big Human NPCs update delayed to 2020. Says here, Fallout 76 Wastelander update, which was to add human NCPs with dialogue and quest lines, more like a single-player Fallout game, have been delayed. Whenever this happens, that's when I may actually get into it. In a post on its website, Bethesda explained that the update is turning out to be rather ambitious, and as a result, it's being pushed to Q1, January to March 2020, which isn't that far off. We're excited about how Wastelanders is coming together, but it's going to need more time to be the best, most polished update it can be. The announcement states, Wastelanders is turning out to be one of the largest expansions we've ever done, and it changes the entire world with human NCPs returning. So as I said, I haven't played it, but to play a game without any other human NPCs would be sort of weird if you ask me. So I guess every other human that you can interact with is actually an online player. But I haven't checked it out yet, so I can't tell you much about it, but I would love to be able to, and I will get into this game because I'm a huge Fallout fan. The announcement goes on to lay out a roadmap for future plans. Those include reworking the Atomic Shop and challenge and reward systems, while maintaining a careful approach so that players can't buy a competitive advantage. Bethesda says it is also working on a quality of life improvement for 2019, along with more new events, the perk loadouts, legendary player system, and public test server, coming much sooner than all those will be in addition of private servers. The company says this is the top requested feature and coming next week at the time of this article. The ability to mod your private world will be added in future updates. Fallout 76 had a rocky launch and was met with largely negative reviews. This is one of the reasons I haven't tried it yet. That's all I've heard was bad news about it. But still, I'm a huge fan of the series. Including GameSpot's review, which awarded it a 4 out of 10, one chief criticism was the lack of NPCs made the world feel sparse and inconsequential. which the Wastelanders update aims to fix. In the meantime, Bethesda has been releasing updates fairly regularly, adding features like Battle Royale mode and raids. Excuse me. Which I find to be pretty darn what's going on here. Pretty darn interesting and pretty darn awesome. I'll say it again, huge fan of the Fallout series, one of my favorite RPGs of all time. I actually got recommended Fallout New Vegas back on PlayStation 3. Tried it out and fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love with it. I love the consequences to your actions and only being able to choose certain factions, and then once you get so far, and it really makes the games more interesting to play, and I wish there were a lot more like that because that's what I really enjoy playing. But anyway, so that's the end of one story, and we will dive into the next story. Coming right up. Bing bing. Alright gamers, the last and final story for this episode is not quite about a game or a gaming studio, but a movie that was made after the game, and that happens to be Resident Evil. And the headline of this story is Resident Evil producers seeking dismissal of lawsuit from stunt woman who lost her arm. Pretty jacked up story, but let's get into it. It says that the producers want her lawsuit tossed out, which I think is pretty messed up, but I'm no lawyer and I'm not in that situation, so let's see what the story has to say. The producers of the Resident Evil movie franchise are asking the courts to throw out a lawsuit from the stunt performer who sustained injuries so bad on the set of the latest movie that she needed to have one of her arms amputated. The legal team for director Paul W.S. Anderson and producing partner Jeremy Bolt filed documents asking for Olivia Jackson's lawsuit to be dismissed. Jackson's American lawyers are suing the wrong people in the wrong place, the legal team for Anderson and Bolt said in its request for dismissal. The lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles' Superior Court in August this year. Jackson is asking for unspecified damages to help pay for her medical bills, which are ongoing. Jackson suffered serious injuries on the set of the Resident Evil final chapter when performing a motorcycle stunt that went wrong. It was so bad the doctors amputated her left arm above the elbow. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Jackson's lawsuit claims that Anderson and Bolt created an unsafe working environment on the set of the last installment of the popular movie franchise. Also failed to produce adequate insurance to cover injuries that resulted from her crash. Anderson and Bolt, meanwhile, claim that because Jackson was reportedly hired for the final chapter by an unrelated company based in South Africa, they are not responsible for paying any damages. The lawyers for the director and producer also state that this company, Davis Films, tried to get Jackson $3.2 million liability policy from a South African insurance company called Hollard Insurance. However, Hollard reportedly would not pay Jackson's claim because the terms apparently stated that the policy does not cover all cast and crew. Davis did, however, pay $248,265 to Jackson to help cover her medical expenses, according to the suit. Anderson and Bolt's lawyers say Jackson's attempt to resurface the issue in California's court is a publicity stunt masquerading as a lawsuit. And it says here you can go to THR to get more details on the case if you so choose. Jackson also did stunt work for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Mad Max Fury Road, and Avengers Age of Ultron, performing a motorcycle stunt for Resident Evil actress Milia Jakovich. In the final chapter, Jackson smashed into a camera after it failed to lift in time. The motorbike, that is. According to her lawsuit, Jackson suffered serious injuries and was in a coma for 17 days before waking up to realize the extent of her career-ending injuries. Now, this is where it gets a little gory, from what I remember. October 2015, Jackson released a Facebook post that detailed the extent of her injuries, which included brain bleed or bleeding, brain swelling, severed main artery in the neck, crushed and degloved face, several broken ribs, paralyzed arm, shattered scapula, broken clavicle, broken humerus, broken radius and ulna with an open wound and 7.5 piece and a 7.5 piece of bone missing. It doesn't say whether it's milliliter, inch, or what it was, but it says 7.5 something piece of bone missing and an amputated thumb. In an interview, she stated, "My facial scarring is horrible and I wish I had my old face, but I'm truly grateful to be alive." Resident Evil, the final chapter, was released in January 2017 and was the most successful movie in the series to date, making $312.2 million worldwide. In total, the series, which kicked off in 2002, has made more than $1.2 billion worldwide. So, I mean, quite honestly, the guy, Davis, did already pay her over $200,000. For her to bring it back up later, I mean, I can see it and I can't. Like, if something like that happened to me, I would be livid. I am not the type to sue, but if there wasn't insurance for the cast and crew to be covered, I don't know. It's a touchy situation. I don't know all the details. I really don't want to give my opinion per se, but I mean, if you're hurt on the job, the employer is supposed to take care of you, but if he had already paid out in it doesn't say if it was a previous suit, maybe? Or yeah. It says that he already paid out according to the current suit. So that means that he already forked out over $200,000, which with all those injuries, I can only imagine the medical bills. Like, it's actually a crime, in my opinion, how doctors and hospitals trump up the charges when the procedures are actually a lot less than they seem. I don't know. It's just a really crazy situation. And I found this story quite interesting, so I decided to bring it to you guys. As always, there will be links in the description for the stories if you would like to read into them further yourself. It's just something that I found interesting and decided to bring them to you and shed a little light on them, so maybe you would like to dig deeper. But all of that being said, my people, my folks, my family, my friends, my subscribers, followers, until the next time, watch me on Twitch and YouTube. Watch me on both. Open them both up. I'll love you for it. Subscribe, follow, like, comment. Tell me how you feel. And until the next time, over and mother loving out.